Thank you so much for joining us for our virtual grand opening of our new Women's Transitional House, something that we have been dreaming about for a very long time, something that's been in the planning stages, and we have been working on this all year long. And so we are excited tonight to show you the house, but we're also going to hear from some of our staff members, those working in the ministry, and we're also going to hear from Sheriff Darren Hall. Now, I want to mention that earlier today, we actually had a ribbon cutting ceremony at TPOM. Now, we did have a permit from the Metro Health Department, and so we were all there. We had our mask on, we were socially distanced, and we were able to see that time of cutting the ribbon, which you're going to see here shortly. And we were able to hear from Sheriff Hall, which I'll be introducing later in the program. But we were just so excited to be a part of that, and we are glad that you are joining us here tonight. And now I want to introduce to you Randi Baxter. Randi began volunteering with TPOM several years ago. She began volunteering at the Reentry Center. She was teaching classes, she was helping develop resumes, and just became very passionate about helping our men coming out of incarceration and helping them to reenter the community. And then Randi, she joined the board, and we're excited to have her in that capacity. And then last year, she became our vice president, and then just recently, she was named as the president of TPOM. She is so passionate about this work. We are excited about her leadership, and so now I introduce to you Randi Baxter, TPOM president.
Thank you for joining us, and welcome to the grand opening of the first Women's Transitional House at Tennessee Prison Outreach Ministry. We are so grateful for the way you have supported us and helped us get to this momentous occasion where we will be soon welcoming women into this house. We're also grateful at how God has blessed this ministry, and we are so privileged to be at work alongside him. I would like to read a blessing for this house. This is based on a liturgy from Every Moment Holy by Douglas McKelvey. We thank you for this home, O Lord, for the shelter it will provide, for the moments of life that will be shared within it. Dwell with the women who will live in this place. Dwell among them in these spaces, in these rooms. Be present at the tables as they eat together. Be present as they rise in the morning and lie down at night. May your spirit inhabit this home, making of it a sanctuary where hearts and lives are knit together, where bonds of love are strengthened, where mercy is learned and practiced. May this home be a place of knowing and being known, a place of shared tears and laughter, a place where forgiveness is easily asked and granted and wounds are quickly healed, a place of meaningful conversation, a place of joining, of becoming, of creating and reflecting. A place where diverse gifts are named and appreciated and service to others is learned and practiced. A place where stories are forever twined. Grant also, O Lord, that all who interact within these temporary walls and enjoy these momentary fellowships will be awakened to the restless longing for our eternal home with you. As you continue watching this evening, and you go through the house virtually, please consider saying your own prayer, asking for blessings on this house, on this ministry, and on the women who will live here. Again, thank you.
Thank you, Randi, and you can just hear in her voice the passion that she has about the ministry. And so I know that TPOM is under very strong leadership at this time. Now, because of the pandemic, most of the programs that we have been involved in our jails and prisons have been closed because of COVID-19. However, TPOM has a contract with the State Department of Corrections, and so we still are teaching classes currently in several local prison facilities. And so one of those who's teaching in our classes is Michelle Kevorkian. She teaches the women, she teaches them life skill classes. And Michelle also is so passionate about working with the women, and she is going to share with some of you, or with you, her experiences of being with the women and their excitement about coming to our new Women's Transitional House. And so now to Michelle.
I'm so excited about this transitional house. It's so needed. There's so many lovely women that will come here and bless others also. Cognitive behavior has to do with mindfulness and living in this moment right now. And so many people in prison that have been incarcerated are still living in the past. The huge need is for more transitional housing for women. I mean, it's a really big need. I guess the men have needed it so long, and that's what so many nonprofits and facilities have focused on. So unfortunately, there's a lot of women in prison. So it's a huge need for ladies. I've seen ladies that have been in prison and they could be released and they still haven't found a place to go. So what happens, there's a couple of different scenarios going on when people start the class. And those are the only ladies I meet at the prison unless they're in my class. So one scenario is things are great and I'm going back home. They're going to go right back and live in the same scenario that they've been living in. There's no changed behavior. And the second person is, man, I'm so excited about all these opportunities to go to a transitional home, just chill for a little while, get some learning, some mentoring, and check out these programs that I'm teaching them about, that Reentry's teaching them about, and some of the other girls that they know in the facility are teaching them about. But what I found around week 3 or 4, the girls that were going back home, and they're learning that, it does make a difference who they hang out with. They will relapse if they go to this address, 123 Main Street again. And they've decided that they've been working on some change through the class and the exercises. And now all of a sudden, they could be getting out and they need somewhere to go. Our facility that we're opening here for TPOM, women can come here if they're not addicted to drugs. As a matter of fact, they're going to have to pass a drug test to live here since that. So what makes TPOM special is it's really ran by people who care about this population. It's ran right. There are rules. Other transitional housing have rules, and nobody oversees the rules. I've had ladies that said, hey, I was in a house and I started using because everybody was using. Yeah, it's not gonna happen in this house. They're gonna know they're loved, they're gonna know that we're watching, but we get it, and that we love them. We have a lovely lady that's gonna be the house mother over the transitional house. She has a great background. She was also incarcerated. She's been through a lot of classes. She is equipped to really be in the changing life business for these ladies. So when I talk about the transitional housing, and I put an emphasis on that the ladies want structure, it's because through cognitive behavior, they've learned that they're in need of structure. And they've recognized that if I go right back to the same address or the same city, I'm gonna go right back to my non-structure. It's gonna be, I need to make a whole bunch of money so I can get an apartment, so I can buy me some new clothes, and not looking for programs at all. So when they come into a structured facility, not only do they know the rules, they have to sign off on the rules. And they like it. They like it, and they've seen people that have come back from transitional housing that, they said they were structured, and they weren't. There weren't enough rules. There wasn't enough oversight by anybody, much less someone that cared about them and was excited about, look at this program we have for you guys. We're excited to teach you some cognitive behavior. We're excited to have a class on traumatic things, because we know that's something that can help them. And they do too. They need a step down where they're still learning, and there's some freedom added, a beautiful comfy bed, a nice kitchen, your own fridge. These things are just, it's worth the structure. It'll be so helpful. And a lot of them have figured it out through TPOM putting these classes together and having a presence in the prison, getting to know some people and meet some people they trust, and wanting lives like that.
Thank you, Michelle, and we appreciate so much the work that you're doing, working with the women and helping to prepare them for those as they're coming out and to have that new life and to transition, and for those who are coming to TPOM Transitional. Now, I'm coming to you at this time. I'm coming to you live. And so we appreciate so much, again, you being with us and being a part of this grand opening tonight. And now I want to introduce to you, we're going to hear from Valerie Reed. Valerie is our new house manager, our house shepherd, and she is so excited about the role. She's going to talk about her life and her experience as she'll be sharing and working with the women directly, living in the home with them and helping them to have that new experience. And then following hearing from Valerie, you're going to hear from Dr. Cynthia Stewart. Dr. Stewart is director of our program. She's our program manager, and she is one who is very committed to this work. And she has really developed an effective program as we work alongside the women as we have with the men to help them to have that new life. And so now I bring you Valerie Reed.
I'm here to give encouragement. I'm here to give hope. I'm here to let the ladies know that that doesn't have to be their final destination. My role here is a shepherd. I'm going to be the shepherd in the house. And the shepherd's responsibilities are to encourage the women, give them hope, help them along the pathway of not only recovery, but transitioning out of the prison back into society. I'm basically like the house mom. So I'm gonna have a lot of kids. I'm just blessed. I'm just really blessed. I feel really blessed and humbled to be here, to have this position, because I have experience. I know what it's like to be an addict and alcoholic out there in the streets. I know what it's like to be in prison. And I do believe that this is my assignment from God, is to help other women in any capacity that I can. Well, I'm hoping that we'll have some success stories that'll come out of this house. That people will come here and they'll appreciate being here, and they'll get what they need, that they can have a constructive and productive stay here. That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that for some success stories to come out of here, and that they know they never have to go back to prison again if they do the right thing. I don't ever want to forget where I came from. I don't ever want to get so complacent in my life that I feel like I don't need help, or I don't need assistance, or I don't need advice, or I don't need suggestions. I don't ever want to get that place. And this will help me to remember where I've been and what I don't want to go back to. Just being here, like, it's beautiful. It's something that I dreamed of. It's just everything that I've dreamed of. This is one of my dreams come true. Now the next thing I'm dreaming of is going to school to get my LADAC so I can be a drug and alcohol counselor. That's what I would really like to do. But this is a stepping stone. And I have a lot of gratitude for this place. If you put God first, go to meetings, get a sponsor, work the steps, your life will change and it will get better. And you can be where I am. Because this is all a blessing. I never imagined that I would be here today.
So when I go into the prison and tell the ladies there about our new house, they are so excited. So many of the women some who haven't even thought about staying in Nashville, sometimes think about staying in Nashville and coming to the house. They're excited when I show them the brochures about the property, they're excited to see what it's like, they're excited to hear about the programming, and they're excited about the prospect of a new life and a new fresh start coming here. It's a wonderful thing. I am the program manager at TPOM. So that means that I oversee the program, the educational programming that we do here, and try to provide the best help for people as they're getting back on the road to reuniting with their families, with society, and God. When I first came to work at TPOM, the idea of the Women's House was just a dream. And over the time that I've been here, which is just a year and a half, I've been able to see this dream coming to reality. We let out just a yell and a whoop the day that the ground was starting to be broken on this. And to watch it come to fruition, it is unbelievable. We are all so excited. I am so excited every day to come into the TPOM Reentry Center, to my office, and watch this place come up has been astounding. This is beautiful. It is an incredible place. And to be a person, not every person gets to do this, but to be one of the people who goes into the prison and gets to tell both women and men, but especially our women here, about what this looks like. And to say, I know you're here now, but let me tell you about what this house is like, and what you may want to come and live in after you leave. It's just an enormously joyous experience. The women get so excited. This house is going to be really important in terms of the programming that we'll be providing for the women. The women who are incarcerated, the majority of women have a lot of trauma in their background, and so we need to be really thoughtful about the programming that we provide. This programming needs to incorporate a lot of things that we don't already do with our men. We have the programming for men really well thought out, but we've had to rethink as the ladies are going to be coming to us, and we know we need to think a lot more about relationships between people and how they affect people. We need to be thinking more about parenting classes, about helping the ladies effectively work with the court system, and helping them to get their children, be in relationship with their children, and what that's going to look like through court systems. And we know we need to be working more on self-esteem and body image, and many things that in many women are deeply affected by past trauma and contribute to present difficulties in present situations. For the Women's House, we will be having some of the same programming that we have for men, things like financial literacy courses. We will definitely be continuing with our AANA courses that we currently have, and we'll have spirituality courses, but we will also have things that are specific to the women. So we know that we need to focus on relationships, which are of course important for everyone, but specifically for women. So we will have courses that delve into the importance of relationships, but also where difficulties can be and how they affect people, and how those then affect decision making. We will have courses on self-esteem, what healthy self-esteem and self-understanding look like, and how those affect boundaries. All of this goes into the importance of how we live, and how, again, we make decisions about ourselves, about those around us, and about the choices that we make. A lot of this for many, many women in prison, for most women in prison, a lot of these things have been neglected or even destroyed, and have been part of the reasons that they have been led down the paths that they have gone down, and need to be addressed so that they don't need to go down those pathways again. And of course, we will continue to have ongoing work with alcohol, drugs, substance abuse. This is all caught up in these other issues. Most people, the vast majority of people, don't start drinking or taking drugs simply because they want thrill. It's because they're affected by trauma. And so these other issues are all based around this idea of what trauma have people experienced and how can we find it, how can we begin to look for God's healing to come into that space. We are going to need volunteers to really help these ladies. We need people who are willing to come in and be with them. We need to help people to help teach classes. That programming that I was talking about is going to require people in here to help them. This beautiful house is going to need people to help keeping things going and people to be mentoring the women who are here, people to spend time just being friends with the people who are here as ladies are coming out. We can only do so much as staff. We've only got a few people here. It really takes the work of volunteers to keep all of this going. And we are so grateful for everyone who shows up to help.
When we, in 2013, we had been a ministry that had been around for a long time, a ministry behind the bars. Harold and Helen Cox, Mama and Papa Cox, that Sheriff Hall knew so well, passed on, but started this ministry. Ron Goodman was involved in this. And as we sat around a room in 2013, we began to think about what it would be like to have a reentry center. To be able to open up a facility to have folks to come when they were out of prison and be able to come and to have job training, job placement, counseling, mentoring. And so we acquired, through a donation, this property. Sheriff Hall was here and spoke as we opened up this reentry center in 2015. And we were excited to be able to have that part of this ministry. But we wanted to do more. We wanted to have housing. And so we acquired the property next door, the White House that's right behind you. There was a house there. We purchased that property, and we built the duplex for men, for 16 men, and for house managers coming out. And so we opened that up in 2017, and once again, reached out to Sheriff Hall. His great support and asked him to come and to speak, and he did that, and we were celebrating that event. But we've also wanted to have a place for women to come when they would be released from prison. And so we had this property here, and we began at the beginning of the year, began construction right before the pandemic hit. But we were in the process of this. And so we've been able to complete this home, this duplex, for 16 residents and for 2 house managers. We also, you'll see tonight, we have a full basement downstairs where we have all types of programming and office space. And this is just a very attractive home, a very beautiful home. In fact, just a couple of weeks ago, I had some neighbors walking by, 2 ladies with their dog, and they just stopped and were staring. And I said, "Can I help you?" And they said, "What in the world is this that you're building here?" She said, "This is a beautiful structure." And I told them we were building a halfway house, transitional house for women, finishing it up. And one of the women that lives here said, "Thank you for building this. You have just increased our property value." So you can see the kind of home that we have built. I want to introduce Sheriff Hall, who was sworn in at the 61st Sheriff of Davidson County. First was elected in September of 2002. He's now been elected to his 5th term, which will be the longest serving sheriff in Davidson County history. Sheriff Hall has made it a priority to be involved in programming. I've heard Sheriff Hall speak on numerous occasions. With the new behavioral center that they have for men and women who are incarcerated but have a mental illness, he's been a leader in that, of making that happen, that alternative means of trying to get folks the help that they need. He is a sheriff that celebrates when beds are reduced. which is maybe seemed unusual for some. I truly believe, and I've been around the state, he's the best sheriff in the state of Tennessee, and I mean that. He is an advocate for the volunteers. He has made a number of times, I've heard him talk about the importance of volunteers, their role in his facilities. And then I saw him on the news this week, and he was advocating for his staff and making the case, which rightfully so, that they are frontline workers, and that when the vaccine becomes available, that they should not be excluded, that they should be at the front line with others because of the position that they have. And so when I think about Sheriff Hall, I mean, he has done so many things. He's president of the National Sheriff's Association. He's done a lot of different things. But to me, the greatest thing is his character. And I mean that, his character, his concern about those that are incarcerated, about the volunteers, and what a huge advocate he is for his staff. He has one of the lowest turnover rates anywhere. People are excited to work for DCSO. And so I am thrilled to introduce Sheriff Darren Hall. Let's welcome him.
Wow, the key is to don't speak long when it's cold, so I promise I won't do that. But I could sit and hear Thomas talk all day long, not just because it has nothing to do with what he says about me, but just excitement where we are today in a city like this with all the things we could be down about. This is a great day to celebrate what's going on, and just to sit here and feel a part of that's a blessing to me. So I appreciate Thomas and all the work that's gone into getting us here. So I was born and raised in Nashville. I have two sons, and I could tell stories about both of them, but I usually embarrass one or the other. And so I want to tell you a real story that says, I hope, a little bit about why I'm standing here. So I've been doing this job a long time. I grew up, like I said, working in this all my life. I read the book Helter Skelter when I was 16. I wanted to figure out why people do what they do and what can we do to help them. That's just the truth. So when I was 16, I really got interested. I've been doing this all my life. I've been the title of sheriff for nearly 20 years. And so I have an 18-year-old son. And when he was 6, and keep in mind, my house, my phone rings at all hours of the night, and when you walk in places, they don't call you by your first name. It's usually sheriff or sheriff, and he's heard that all his life. And so he was in the first grade, about 6 years old, and so after having lived this, we're walking through the house one night, and he was in the first grade time frame, and walks up to me, and he goes, "Dad, what do you do?" And it just kind of hit me, because I thought, well, he hears this all the time. He knows this crazy life and things that go on, and there's news media and stuff like that. And so it kind of struck me that he didn't know what I did. He knew what the title was, maybe. So I thought, really, for the first time in my life, I never thought about it. I wanted him, if not anyone else, to understand what I think I should be doing and what I think I'm doing. So I took him in a room in the house, and I sat down with him, and I said, in this area of the house, and I sat down and I said, I run timeout. Now, in our house, timeout is a place where we would ask him or his brother to go sit. It was so happened to be steps. And you sit there. Hopefully we're learning a lesson, or you'll get up and go do what you need to do, or pick up what you shouldn't have, what you didn't pick up. But I told him I run timeout. And he sat there and looked at me kind of funny, and I said, but here's what I want you to know, that when you're in timeout, I don't love you any less. I don't feel different about you because you're sitting on the steps for a moment. My hope is while you're on the steps, both you and I can learn something and get up and move away, and you go running down the hallway again. And I've always felt that if he could understand that at a first grade level, maybe that's what I want society to think. Some people need to be in timeout. Some people are going to be in timeout in life. My hope, just like myself, I could have been in facilities all my life. I made many bad decisions. But I have never felt like I judge people who are in our system. And so if they're living with us in the world of jails and prisons, and you believe what I believe, that we should be trying to do something to alter the chance that they ever come back. If you believe that, and you live it every day and you work it every day, that's a challenge. We do it every day. We work hard. I think we're doing really well. But one of the things I learned 20 years or so ago is that really that part is easy because we have the person captivated. They're there with us. We're working with them. But when that door opens, if they don't have a place to go and a support system around them, they're going to come back. I just know that. And I can remember, Thomas said something, in the old CJC downtown, I can remember many, many a night seeing this little man and this little lady, Mr. and Miss Cox, in and out of a building, just volunteering their time for years upon years to try to help people. But the truth is, there wasn't a lot of places to go when you got out. And places like Nashville and all over this country, they built a lot of nice facilities, unfortunately built a lot of nice jails. But we weren't building places where they could go when they leave. And people would often see that same person return to the jail. And I would hear people say these exact words: if no one is there waiting on me when the door opens, where am I going to go? And you would look at them and know, yeah, but we're working on the addictions. Your spiritual life has improved. Look at the things that are going on. And I felt really passionate about that. But what I lost sight of it when the door opened, the challenges in the streets of Nashville are insurmountable for most people if you don't have a safe, healthy place to go. And so I think I realized back, like I said, 20 years or so ago, my role is easy. The public safety part of my job is pretty easy. What's hard is to get people a location to come to. The government doesn't do that very well. And so you need partners, you need nonprofits. And so, gosh, I feel like I've grown up here. I've been in every one of these buildings, the celebrations of, it feels like it was very hot the last time we were doing one of these openings, and this is obviously a little different. And I'm not gonna say I didn't believe Thomas, but I'm a dreamer. And I heard him dreaming about this building years and years ago. And when I told Walt just a second ago, this is phenomenal looking. Just look at it. In a beautiful part of Nashville that's changing so fast. And if you didn't have the vision to do this, this land would have been bought and sold and developed with people who are good folks, I'm sure. But the reality is, the people who are coming out of jails and prisons today need equally a place that's safe and clean and healthy to live. And if you don't do it when you're dreaming, in 2013, this stuff is all gobbled up. So I guess I'm so proud of a city that calls itself the IT City. And I tell people this all over the place, that it's not just the shiny lights downtown that Nashville does right. I want to believe we take care of the people who need it the most. And we're standing here in the middle of this thing called a pandemic. What if I told you that this facility may be more needed than ever? Because people's jobs and their future and the world of mental health and depression that's coming around ultimately impacts people coming to jail. And if we don't have places for men and women to go to, unfortunately, the government's going to continue to build jails and prisons, and we don't need that. Something to just hang on to. We're doing a lot of work. I'm leaving here right now to go back and work with the state on getting vaccines. And Thomas mentioned we're trying to really push for inmates and staff who are incarcerated to be in that list. It is very dangerous in an airborne environment with a disease like this and trying to contain it. And so that's a huge effort. But I want you to think about something. And maybe it'll help your neighbors. Maybe it helps people. But that it costs $134 a day for a person to be in jail in Nashville. That is a lot of money, millions upon millions upon millions of dollars. And while he or she is in our jail today, and we're doing what I think is really good work trying to help them curb the world of addiction, changing the mental health structure, hopefully, but they don't have a place to go, we're in big trouble. And so $134 a day and continuing to see people coming back and forth to jails and prisons is not the way to do it. We need to be taking the money away from people like me. I've said this all over the country. I get in trouble sometimes. I believe you should cut our budgets. You know why? You should invest in what would help. If you're only going to build jails and prisons and not build the support systems to help people when they go out, you're wasting that money. My budget's $100 million. 30% of those people that I'm housing today are diagnosed mentally ill. Many of the women, 50% of the women coming in our jail system today are diagnosed mentally ill. So we've got to put the money where it needs to be. And I don't want to see it go into jails and police and prisons. I want to see it go into the community where people are trying to change their life. So I hope, today is it's so, we didn't get to have an opening for our behavioral health center. And I feel somewhat disappointed about that because of the COVID situation. But I'm so proud that Thomas and them not only put this in the ground, but made sure that our community gets to see it, hear it, And one of these days, hopefully in the near future, we can throw these masks away and have people come in and out of the facilities to visit and see these lives that are changing. So thank you very much, and congratulations to TPOM.
Before we cut the ribbon, I want to, Sheriff Hall has mentioned the vision that we have. And as you know, as was mentioned, there's a lot of changes going on in this community, and property is being purchased, and it's very difficult to be able to expand. But I want to share with you one quick story before I have a prayer, and then we cut the ribbon and then be dismissed. So right behind the men's house, there is an empty lot that TPOM owns. There is a reason why TPOM owns this lot here, and I want to mention what we're going to do with that lot. There was a house that was sitting there, and there was a widow that lived there. Her name was Miss Morgan. And when we built the men's house, we were building that, I knocked on her door and introduced myself and gave my business card to her. And I introduced myself, and she told me her name, and I said, well, Miss Morgan, I said, we're building a men's transitional house. We're going to be your next door neighbors. And she said, well, I'm really concerned. And I thought, I understand. And I said, I want to give you my card. And I said, if you ever have any issues at all, I want you to call me first. Well, I want you to know she called me all the time. Without any prompting, without any initiative on my part, our residents in the house started going by and cutting her grass. One of them built her a wheelchair ramp. They started picking up sticks, just started doing things for her on their own. She died in January of 2019. And before she passed, she told her family, she said, I want you to sell my house to TPOM so they can build another home for people coming out of prison. The family called me and said, our mother was y'all's biggest critic, and she became y'all's biggest fan. And the family, out of a favor to TPOM because of their mother, sold us that property at half the market value. And so now that we have finished the women's house, there's more to the vision. And that is a step-down unit for men that will be next, that will be right here on the TPOM campus. And so we are excited about that, and to realize that we have that kind of a reputation in this community. And our folks that are in our program are those who are wanting to give back, that are doing that on their own, that have their own initiative. Just this past week, I was told that one of our residents was cutting wood for our next door neighbor on his own. That's what this ministry is about. Giving hope, helping them to reunite with their family, with God, and with the community. And I truly believe that TPOM is making the Wedgwood Houston community a better place because of what's happening here and the lives that are being changed. Let's have a prayer. Our Father in heaven, we thank you so much for all the blessings that you give us, even in the midst of this pandemic. And Heavenly Father, we're thankful that we can have a home like this for women. We're able to welcome them into a facility like this to help them to continue to transition and to have that new life. We're thankful for Sheriff Hall. We're thankful for his vision, for his work, for his commitment to our community, to Nashville as a whole, and to helping those who are in his care and in his custody. We ask now that you be with us and bless the women who will be arriving very soon. In Christ we pray, amen. Before I cut the ribbon and then we will dismiss you, again, we want to remind you that we will be 6:30 tonight on our Facebook and our YouTube page. We hope that you'll watch that tonight. And I will say that this afternoon, we're receiving our first female resident. She'll be here around after 5 o'clock today. And so we are excited for that. So we have got the largest pair of scissors I could possibly find on Amazon. And we're going to get Sheriff Hall to hold one end, and I'll hold the other end real taut. And we're going to let Randi Baxter, let her cut the ribbon. Then we can applaud, and then we'll be dismissed. And again, thank you for taking the time to be here today. Thank you for your participation. Thank you for celebrating with us this significant milestone for TPOM. Top pair of scissors. Randy,
There you go.
largest we could find. We're going to hold this really taut. And,
You're gonna,
Okay,
Good luck.
here we go. I may should have practiced. Up. You didn't get sharp scissors. Big scissors they are. Don't run with
Now that you have seen the ribbon cutting, we are here to give you a virtual tour of this new facility that we have constructed. And as you see as we're walking up here, you will see a sidewalk. It is a paver sidewalk, and so it's a very attractive for our community that we find ourselves in. And as we go up the ramp here in just a moment, we're going to go into the duplex. So it is a duplex, and so one side is a mirror image of the other, and so we'll go through one side of the house in its entirety. So let's enter in the home at this time. We will fob in. And so welcome to our beautiful home for women who are coming out of incarceration. This is obviously the common area that we have constructed, and so you can see the decorating. We have hardwood floors that are here, and then of course all of the furnishings are new. And so the women can come in and they will be able to come in from a long day of work and be able to sit down and enjoy each other's company, and also have their meals here in the dining area. And we also have their mailboxes in the back, so when the mail comes in for them, we distribute to them this particular manner. And so as we come in, and obviously you can see this is a very comfortable place. I also can eat there as well. We have a half bath downstairs, and you can see that there. And then we're going to walk into the kitchen. The women will be preparing mostly their own meals. And so you come in and you see the quartz tops that we have here. Again, all these cabinets, the new cabinets, everything is electric, so prepare their own meals. And so all of this is set up for them, and they can, if they don't have cooking skills, we'll be able to teach them cooking skills and be able to prepare their meals. Now this is going to enter into the house manager, and I showed you the front door coming in, and you already heard from Valerie Reed, who is our house manager. And so she has already moved in, and so this is her apartment, and it's very nice, it's very attractive, and she also has a kitchenette that you can see. So she has her own microwave, her own sink, her own refrigerator as well. She has decorated this in a very attractive manner. She has a very large bathroom. She has her own washer and dryer in here as well, in her closet area. You can see that. Then you can see her shower, a walk-in shower, very nice. And so it is just a beautiful home. And Valerie was just so excited to see this, and she come in, she just couldn't believe how beautiful a home this was. And so we are so happy to have her as our house manager. Now I'm going to take you in to the bedrooms for our residents. And so we'll go back through the kitchen. And all of the bedrooms for the residents are upstairs. The first thing you will notice as you come up the stairs is that we have a sitting area for the women, so they can come in and they can relax, they can read a book. This is a very quiet place. Some of them like to journal. This is a great place for this, just to sit down and have conversation. We come into their bedrooms, and so we have two women that will share a room, and you can see how it's been decorated. And so it is something that I know they're going to be very excited about. And have a windows, very large windows here. They can see out, let the light come in as they're in this time of transitioning into the new life. So the bedrooms are set up as a suite setting, and so they share a bath with the residents in the room next door. So here is the bathroom. Again, quartz tops, you'll see tile floor. You'll see the tile shower. And again, this is just a home that I know the women are going to be very excited about. Some of them have already seen pictures of the home that are in prison, and they are really looking forward to coming here to TPOM. Then here is another bedroom, this adjoining bedroom that shares the bath with the women in the other room. You can see the decorations that is set up for the women. We come out here and they will have their own washer dryer. And so we'll see this and come in here and open that up. And so the women can take care of their own laundry needs. And then we come on down to the 4 other women will live at this end of the duplex. And so again, another bedroom. And then it shares a bath. And then I'll take you to this bedroom. This is the largest bedroom that we have. And so it's very roomy, very comfortable. Again, it shares a bath with the residents there. And then you'll see the closet, which I wish I had a closet like this in my house. A beautiful walk-in closet, very large, spacious, so they can keep all of their items here as they are with us from anywhere from 4 to 6 months. And so this is one side of the duplex. This is a duplex for 16 residents, the total facility, plus 2 house managers. So we'll come on out, and we're going to end up going downstairs, and we'll go into at least the common room for the other side. We'll not walk through all of the bedrooms because it is a duplex, but I am going to take you at least to show you how it's been decorated on the other side. So let's go downstairs. And so we are back down stairs, and now we're back in the common area. And then we're going to go to the other side of the duplex and to just show you the common area there, the living room and the dining room. It's decorated a little bit differently than this side, but otherwise it's very similar. So we'll come on out. All of the women will have a fob that will let them in. Also, will let us know when they come in the door, what time they come in, to make sure that everybody's following curfew and our expectations in our program. So now we're coming into the other side of the duplex, and it is obviously a mirror image in many ways of the side that we were just on. So we'll not go through the entire house, but you can see it's decorated a little bit differently. This also has the bedrooms upstairs for 8 residents. There's the full kitchen. There's washer dryer. There's also a house manager's unit as well. And so when you look at the entire facility, it has a place for 16 residents and for 2 house managers. And so this is where they'll be residing. But we also have a full basement that we're going to show you. There's not a direct access from the bedrooms or to the house downstairs, so we're going to have to go outside and go around. But we want to show you that next for all of our programming. Now we are in the downstairs of the new facility that we have constructed. And so I'm at the back of the facility downstairs. We have a mop closet where we are able to take care of all of our cleaning supplies that are here. We've also placed a computer lab. And so we have new computers that are coming in. And so the women will be able to work on their resumes here in this room and also go through computer classes while they're here with us. And over here, we're going to bring in some fitness equipment. And so we'll have a treadmill and some other fitness equipment for them as they're working on their physical health also. This takes us into one of our offices that we have, where we'll have a staff member that will be here. You will also see we have restrooms for men and women, and you can see the women's restroom and see how nice, and of course, this facility is. Coming down the hall, of course, there is the men's restroom. We'll take you into the kitchen area. which we have designed this so that we can have cooking classes. So we have a hand washing station here. We have a double oven here. We have 3-compartment sink there as well. And you can just see how this is set up. And it's going to be very helpful for the women to come in and have classes and teach them cooking skills that they would need. We then come back through and we have one additional office. So we can have 2 staff members that can be here. There's an office there as well with a desk and a chair, and be able to work with the women as well. And then we come back down into the large room, which is a recreational area, a place where we can have fitness classes. And so you can see how attractive this is. And so we have 2 tables that are here. We have table tennis. We have foosball. So when they come in and their family comes in with their children and has visitation, they could come in and spend time with them. And even this past week, we had a Thanksgiving meal for our male residents, and they were able to watch football and enjoy this time together and have a meal. We have also. So this is the downstairs facility. We welcome you to this virtual tour of this home. We are so excited that you have worked to make all of this possible. And now, as we close our program, we're going to take you back to Randi Baxter, our board president, for a few words.
One of my classmates at the women's prison told me recently that she had had her interview with TPOM, and she is so excited that she will get to come to this house when she is released on parole in January. And I am excited for her. I am so grateful that we have realized the vision of having a women's house, and she will be one of our first residents, one of our many residents, and we could not have done it without you and all the ways you support us. We thank you for your monetary gifts, but also please consider volunteer opportunities. Please consider being a mentor, because it makes such a difference. And I look forward to working with you and hearing stories well into the future of how this transition home for women has changed lives.